I'm in the kitchen.
Remind me your name.
Yeah, Michelle.
Michelle.
Myers.
Okay, good. Yeah. I think we're Facebook friends after that day too. So
Oh,
I
yeah?
sent you a request. I don't know if you accepted or not, but anyway.
Hopefully I did. I don't get. I'm sometimes bad at getting onto Facebook.
Yeah.
But then when I get on it, I try to catch up. But I'm sure we did.
Misty and I celebrated 20 years yesterday, and she did a post, and so like I'm getting tagged.
Oh, every time.
You know, by her and all of her friends. So that was exciting. That's like the highlight of my Facebook year so far. Well, Michelle, I'm glad you're here. You were excited about the opportunity that day, so now you get to learn about it.
I know. I just don't. Yeah, I just need to understand it more.
Good.
So thank you. Yeah, we're happy to learn more. I don't know if Barry's coming. He's supposed to come.
I'm going to start the sign-in sheet with you.
Okay. Yeah.
I saw on the calendar invite that Jim accepted. I was like, man, that's exciting. So I'm hoping he shows up. Yeah.
I'll give it to when someone else.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Hey, Lloyd, are y'all doing bold at the office? Is it Ross Group or is it? Ross. Okay. How many people do you have?
Yeah, like 40 for the first day, I think, something like that. He's trying to get at least 25.
Oh, 40 from the office.
You could get
From
more
our
if you go with
office,
your
yeah.
coffee since
The
it's a
first
2-hour
day.
class.
Pretty first day.
Yeah, I'll
I
be.
think he's
Hopefully.
Not
short of having what he's supposed to have.
Okay.
Just like 25, I think. So he's just scrambling to do that.
Who would I talk to about sponsoring? Jean?
Yes.
Okay.
Or Stephanie.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Reach out to her.
She's awesome. Christy, I need your sign in here.
Oh, sure.
Thank you. You did get the Homeward run. Yeah.
I did. Well, I figured it's 2 hours. I need a lot of coffee.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't
Wait,
have
the
to carry them
meeting is
home.
not 2 hours. We'll be done.
Yeah, it's 1 hour.
Tiger tees off at 11 and 4.
Okay, well, all right. My next meeting then is at 12.
Okay.
Yeah, I have
You
on
a
the
big
calendar
Masters
10
fan?
to 12.
Are you a
so
Masters
that's-
fan?
yeah.
Well,
Or just golf?
so I am a Masters fan, not a golf fan, I would
Okay.
say. That's a
Okay.
good way to put it, actually. I'm a Masters fan. Have you
Ooh,
ever
Irene,
been?
you eating a donut?
I know,
That's
like,
like
Did
don't
you already
my
sign in? No, you didn't.
to-do
No, I'm
list.
just teasing you.
It is magical. It is
my-
just because they're,
My
I've never
husband
heard
has-
of such
I-
a thing.
It's
have
so
not.
fun.
Yeah.
We
Our
got
friends
given
do.
tickets by actually, y'all know Santa Dillard? Santa's an agent out of First Atlanta. They had tickets every year, and they gave us 4 tickets. So I was able to take my wife and my daughter and my oldest son, and it was awesome.
Me and my husband play, so that's like on our bucket list.
Oh, that's nice. You guys play together?
That's
Aw.
fun.
That's
And
a
I
game
think
I
that always
need
helps.
to learn.
I just started to take golf lessons. Like, that's on my bucket list.
Oh, nice.
It's so
I'm
fun.
like, everybody else who ducks out of work for golf, I'm like, I need to get on this action.
You can feed a family of 4 Mento cheese sandwiches, get beer, everything else for like under $10. And it's like, it's just fun.
I saw people posting the pimento cheese sandwich bags.
Oh,
It's like lunch for the family, and it was
it
the
is
pimento cheese.
so cool.
Oh, neat.
So I used to, years ago, back in the 90s, I worked for Jack Nicklaus. And,
Did you really?
yeah, I was director of marketing for Laurel Springs,
Come on in, don't be shy.
which was his first Golden Bear community up in Cumming.
Sure.
And anyways, I was such a busy young mom at that time, and I had the opportunity to fly on a private plane to go to the Masters, and I didn't go. I'm so mad at myself. I went back on that one opportunity because, you know, you're in the midst of balancing a job and kids. They were little.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do that. That's just too, irresponsible. I could just kill myself now.
That's a really good flavor.
Sorry,
and
that is a once in a lifetime
one of
opportunity
their-
that went.
that
Most,
is-
oh, well,
Yeah.
yay. My husband actually played the Masters. Oh, wow.
Really?
What happened was one of his good friends she was a nurse that took care of him.
Okay.
They just happened to be talking one day, and she said, he said, my father would love, on his bucket list of playing Masters. He had no idea. Well, this lady took care of a member of Augusta.
There you go.
And she said, I'll make it happen, because this woman had taken care of that man's wife. And so she passed, and she said, he said to her, if you ever have anything you need, so he went to her.
That is so cool. I would not want to disgrace the course.
Well, he said he shot an 89.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And it was his last time his dad played golf, and
Wow.
so it was a special for him. And
Man, 89 on that course, like,
that's what he told me. I'm not
Well,
sure. I didn't
like count
actually
every
see
other
the
one.
I didn't
I
actually
imagine
see
if
the
you cheat on that course, somebody's coming out from behind a tree or something, and calling you out, kicking you out. That's the other thing, is you can't smoke, you can't take cell phones on grounds,
really?
like during the Masters. So like you're unplugged for 10 hours while you're there, and you're finding out in live time, like who's scoring and who's winning and that kind of stuff.
See, that's neat,
If you're
especially in
a
today's
fan,
world.
Yeah, in this world, yeah, for sure. All right, how we doing? It's 10 o'clock. Ready? Y'all, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for coming. My name is John Fountain. I am the Homeward Partner Lead for Georgia, okay? And Homeward, simply put, I think everybody in the room knows, but we are the best cash offer solution in the market. So we can give the power of cash to every one of your buyers, okay? Today we're gonna learn how to do it. A couple of questions to kick us off. What percentage of offers in Atlanta, just reported 2 weeks ago, by the way, this stat by NBC Nightly News, are cash? What percentage of offers are cash?
70%. I would say 30.
You say 30, somebody else said 30, right?
70.
70 is dead on.
What? Look at
70% of offers in Atlanta, according to NBC Nightly News, are cash.
That's crazy.
Okay, follow-up question. What percentage what percentage do you increase your client's chances of winning when you use cash versus a loan?
100%, yeah, that's
Either 90 or
95%, yeah, for sure.
Actually, 100 is higher, higher than 100.
Oh, wow. No, you could go
You
above.
increase your chances of winning by 400% with cash versus traditionally financed. Now guys, wrap your heads around that. If there's 3 offers on a property and you're not cash, that means that the other 2 are. And your chances of winning just decreased by 400%. It's a new world, right? It's a new world. So kudos to y'all for jumping on the bandwagon, getting here to learn about this. We're gonna go through the details. The other thing I love about this, and guys, I've used Homeward about 20 times as a real estate agent, okay? It's actually why I'm now part of the Homeward team, so I can bring it to y'all, okay? What I want you to understand is this is such a unique value proposition that you can leverage in your business, that you can gain market share. Your lead generation calls, Irene, by the way, I love that you're doing that.
Thank you.
Could be, hey, this may or may not be for you, but who do you know that would want to be cash in the market right now? We're turning all of my buyers into cash. And they're gonna go, oh my gosh, you gotta meet Greg, and you gotta meet Susie, and you gotta meet Bill, and you gotta meet so-and-so, okay? So we're gonna go through all that today. Has everybody in the room is signed in? You've got Zoom, Kimberly, so thank you for that. Coffee and donuts from
Oh my
Homeward.
God. These are so
Grab a
good.
mug before you leave, even if you're not using it this morning, okay? Okay, we're gonna help you stand out. Think hesitant list buys. Think competitive listing situations. You can now provide a solution on the buy side that no one else is. Is OfferPad helping them on the buy side? No. They're not. They're not. But aren't your clients telling you they've already got an offer from OfferPad? Yeah. Great. What are you doing on the buy side? I don't know. We're gonna move twice. Please don't move twice. Oh my gosh, please don't do that. My clicker stopped working here. There we go. Okay. Guys, I told you I've been in real estate. Jim, you made it. Yes. I need you to sign in. Thank you, sir. How are you doing? So guys, I've been doing this. I've been in real estate sales in Atlanta since '99. I sold for 9 years. I was a team leader like Jim for 8 years of my career. I went back into sales from team leader, which is where I got in a relationship with Tim Heil and Homeward. Like I said, I did about 20 deals. What I didn't tell you is I got another 60 deals in 2019 from pitching Homeward, but people didn't use it. So we did about 80 deals with Homeward as a value proposition. And then, recently, 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, actually, I joined the Homeward team as a partner lead to launch a new tool. Okay, so that's my background. My goal today is not to make you a master or an expert of Homeward. What I want to give you today is just concepts to get you started and introduced to Homeward. You're not going to walk out of here and have all of the answers, okay? However, you are going to walk out of here with a point of contact with Homeward so you can get more questions answered. You can use them for coaching, be a Homeward advisor, or you can leverage them to talk directly to your clients. Sound good? Okay. Today's agenda, we're going to go through the Homeward way. We're going to talk about both services. We've got a buy before you sell product and a buy with cash product. We're going to talk about what it looks like to work with us, and then we're going to talk about what it looks like to get started. You are going to have 3 questions that are not addressed in the slide deck. I'm going to tell you what they are right now. You can write them down, okay? Tell me about the appraisal process, not in the slide deck. Tell me about the inspection, not in the slide deck. Tell me about how much rent costs, it's not in the slide deck, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and lay those out there. At the end, I'll stick around and we can answer all those questions for anybody that wants to. How does that sound? Good, you got it? Appraisal, inspection, rent cost. Not in the slide deck. Homeward way. Do y'all know Tim? Anybody know Tim Heil? Or know that name? Jim, you do. Jim, I don't know what your.
He looks like he's 12 years old.
Guys, he's literally he's salt of the earth. He's one of my favorite people on the planet. He thinks 40 years out, but he's super down to earth. I mean, when you meet him, you're just like, my God, this guy cares so much, right? He's not doing Homeward to make $1 billion. The company's valuated at that, but he's doing it because he cares about real estate agents. And he wants to provide a real solution that you can take to your people. Boom, I love this guy. He built an MREA team, started in 2009. That team last year, without him involved, did $11 million in gross commission. I'm not bragging about Tim. What I want you to get is he is an agent. He's a KW agent. He gets the way we think, okay? The other thing I want you to know about him is he funded the very first Homeward deal before Homeward was a business. He literally had a client that called him and said, hey, I want to sell my house, but I'm scared to death about buying my next house. Can you help? What are the options? He went to his wife, said, hey, I've got this idea. 2 things. Number 1, it's going to help us get a listing. Number 2, it's going to help us launch Homeward, which is a company I'm thinking about starting. I need to borrow $500,000 from our savings account. She said yes. That's awesome. He went out and purchased the home on behalf of his client, closed on it. The client moved out of the listing. He sold their house. The client bought it back. And Homeward was born. The venture capital space thought it was a great idea. He's raised over $500 million in cash. This venture is funded directly out of our bank account. This is not a bridge loan. It's not a mortgage-backed guarantee. It is literally, we close cash. It's the most secure offer in the business. The other thing I love about Tim and I love about Homeward, guys, we are agents. Our model is and always will be direct to agents. You are our clients. We are not here trying to run you out of the business. We believe you need to be at the center of the transaction now and forever. Okay? So I love that. It's a differentiator for us. We do have 3 companies. Top one is the Homeward cash offer. That's what we're talking about today, buy before you sell and buy with cash. We also have a mortgage company and a title company. You do not have to use our mortgage company or our title company to be able to use our products. With that in mind, we believe the service is a better experience when you do. So we bundle our pricing to try to get all 3. Okay? Any lenders in the room, by the way? Okay, well, you can use your preferred lender and use our product. Okay, our services, buy before you sell. This is for people who have a home to sell. We got really creative with naming our products. People that have a home to sell, competitive listing situations or hesitant list buys. Okay, that's what I want you to think about. Buy with cash is for people who don't have a home to sell. First-time home buyers, investors, second home buyers. Guys, I have agents that have done multiple deals for investment properties for themselves. So, could be you, potentially you. We're gonna go through both of these. Before we do, in East Cobb, what is y'all's offer win rate right now? If you make 10 offers, how many win?
1, maybe.
Okay. Our offer win rate last year was 73%. You're welcome. I just gave you 5 Saturdays back.
More than that.
Isn't that awesome? What would you do with the extra time?
Find more clients.
Okay. I love it. Find more clients. You'd have 5 more Saturdays to represent more clients. I love that. You'd make more money. How about less stress? How about time off?
Happier buyers.
Happier clients. You know what? Regardless of what we tell them about the market, it's always our fault, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when they've made 9 offers, I'm just gonna go find another agent. So I'm sorry, it's not you. We know that. They don't. Okay? So you're gonna win more offers faster. The other thing is I have agents that have done 15, 16, 17 deals because they're getting referrals once they get started with this product. In other words, your client wins on the first or second offer, but they have friends that have made 10 or 15 offers. Hey, you need to talk to Greg and Susie and Bill, right? So you're gonna get referrals once you get started. Turn contingent shoppers into cash buyers, you guys get that and stand out. Let's talk about benefits to clients. Tell me if this sounds familiar. I need 5 bedrooms. Just kidding, I'll take 2. They'll get bunk beds, right? Have you had anybody have to settle? Okay, they don't have to settle anymore. They can win the home the first time. The other thing I love here, they get to enjoy a calmer, more convenient experience. Guys, we are not an iBuyer. We are not buying their existing home. What we're doing is giving them the opportunity to secure their new home, move in, while you sell their old home. Isn't that the exact same thing, only we're solving both sides of the transaction as opposed to just one? So they get to enjoy a calmer, more convenient experience. And the third benefit to your client is they get to work with an agent they know and trust, which is everybody in the room. Okay? All right. Any questions so far before we jump into the process? Okay. Buy before you sell. I'm going to start with that first. Buy before you sell is 6 easy steps. Guys, this is an introduction. You're not going to be an expert. Remember, appraisal, inspection, and rent costs are going to be at the end. First step is get your client approved. If you were to go to your preferred partner right now and ask them to fully underwrite your client, how long would it take them? 5 days, business days more than likely. And that assumes your client gets them everything that they need. Okay. Guys, we're doing the same thing. We're underwriting your client on the front end and taking into account their equity in their existing home. We're assuming, once we've underwritten them, that when that house sells, they now have all of the cash they need to buy the house back. Takes about a week. That number is going to fluctuate depending on the demand. It'll always be referenced on your dashboard, and we'll talk about that at the end. Okay? So in other words, it could only take 2 days. We were doing 2-day approval times in January. The market has increased, the demand has gone up, so now it's taking about a week. Couple of things on the approval I want you to know. Not that we expect you to know their credit score. We need a minimum credit score of 640. Another thing I want you to know about the approval is we do not do FHA or USDA. We do conventional We do VA loans, and we do jumbo up to $3 million. Do y'all do luxury?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
Dominated, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know you do. Your average sales price is higher than, it's probably the highest in the city.
Oh, no, ours actually is not.
What is it?
Ours, depending on the month, 425 right now.
Okay, well that's still high.
Ours is not the highest in even the Ross group.
Okay, so on the approval, let's see if I told you everything. Told you the loan types, the time. Any questions on the approval process? Oh, on buy before you sell, you need to know this. One is they're gonna look at the standard mortgage application, just like a typical lender is. The other is, remember, they're considering the equity in their existing home. So we're gonna do our own CMA on that existing home to determine what it's worth and determine once they sell it, how much equity will they have? How much cash will they have? Okay? Now, your client got approved. Question?
Quite stupid question. Do they have to own a home?
No, so that's the buy with cash product,
Okay.
which we'll talk about in a second.
Gotcha.
Once they're approved, guys, you're gonna go out, show them properties, they're gonna fall in love with a house. You're gonna negotiate the terms of what you and your client want to offer, just like you always would. You're gonna do a CMA, you're gonna tell them this house will appraise for 500, we need to offer 575, or whatever that number is, okay? You're gonna get the contracts ready on your standard GAR forms. You're gonna send it over electronically to us at Homeward, with Homeward as the buyer. And Homeward is gonna sign off as the buyer on that property. You with me?
Can you back up just a second? So let's say I bring my seller, they've already been pre-approved with another company. Do they just transfer that file so you can see what they were at there, or you just?
We do our own underwriting, so we'll need all of the same documents. So it's a lot easier if they've already been approved with another lender, because they already have bank statements and W-2s and everything organized. But they still have to submit an application to us. We have to underwrite it just like we always would.
You worried? I was like, you looked at me kind of.
No, I'm not.
What you had to ask. So if I'm approved, let's say as a buyer up to $800,000, and I want to make an offer for $100,000 for asking price, is that a concern for Homeward, or you're like, hey, look, I approved you for this much, appraisal will sort itself out?
If your client is willing and able to pay more for a house than what it appraises for, we'll do it. And we'll know at step one. Once we have them fully underwritten, we know that they have $300,000 in cash once their home sells.
So y'all don't weigh in and second guess our crazy offers?
Your client wants to pay $200,000 over appraised value, and they're willing and
Cover
able.
the appraisal?
All good. All good.
So you just give them
What's the
max.
record, by the way? Have y'all? What's the record you've heard?
I'm
I've
losing
already
deals
heard
with $100,000 over
Yeah,
asking, with
just
no
heard
contingencies.
Yeah. The record I've heard is $200,000. $500,000 listing, 155 offers, 200,000 ever list.
Recently, like
That was in
you said,
Swanee or
Must be coming from the northeast. Oh yeah, Swanee, there's a line to get in the house.
All right, so you go out, you make the cash offer. Homeward is the buyer, closing in 21 days. It wins 73% of the time, okay? Seller accepts the offer, step number 3. We turn right around and we do a buyback agreement. We write a buyback agreement with your client. I'll go through the process at the end. We close in 21 days, or whatever you need, minimum 21 days. We close, your client can move right in. Great news, they can bring their dog, they can bring their cat, sometimes their iguana, whatever they need, okay? They move in, you stage your existing house, sell their existing house. Once their existing house closes, they buy it back. Did you sign in? Okay, perfect, thank you.
Say that last part again.
You sell their existing house. Once their existing house sells, now they've tapped into all that equity. And they close and buy the new house back from Homeward.
So on the tax record, they'll show the Homeward transaction, then a quick claim deed or something else with the
Yep.
RTD.
Now remember, we're gonna cover the appraisal at the end, right? Your client does have to do a final appraisal after Homeward closes, according to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, but I'm gonna give you those details at the end, so don't stress out. Appraisal, inspection, and rent costs, we're gonna cover at the end. Any questions about the process here? Question online?
Construction?
We do new construction, yeah, absolutely. We don't do construction to permanent loans. And we don't do custom builds. A standard neighborhood tract home, yeah, absolutely, spec home, for sure.
Attached properties as well?
Multifamily?
Oh, I mean condos, townhouses,
Oh,
all that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
So John, but if, I want to renew this later on, so if they have a question, can you do this to my client, do they call you?
No, great question. And again, like I said before, they're gonna have a point of contact today that they'll have access to in 2
Gotcha.
hours.
Yeah, so that person will say, yes, we can, or no, we cannot.
That person can coach you, say yes, say no. They can talk directly to your clients. You don't have to remember anything to it. What I want you to remember, Jim, cash offers, 70% of all offers in cash are in cash in Atlanta, according to ABC Nightly News. And you increase your chances of winning by 400% when you use cash. And if you can get that far and refer them to the HA, the Homeward Advisor, you're golden. By the way, there's no obligation to use us once you're approved. Soft pull on credit, all those things. Question?
So I moved into the new house, selling my house, right? What is that time frame window of selling my house?
So we've been doing this now almost 3 years. Our average days on a buy before you sell transaction from the time Homeward closes and the time your client buys it back is about 46 days. We give them 6 months to sell their existing home.
And I'm assuming there's a fee for the
Right, that's
extended.
We're gonna cover the fees,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
I just feel bad for the people who aren't, and I understand why, because their credit score and stuff, but who are like FHA, who really need to make offers with
Well,
cash.
don't feel bad. We're coming out with a backed by cash program. FHA has a 90-day flip rule. So these products don't work with FHA. It's not Homeward, it's FHA. But we're coming out with a program that you can use with FHA, so stay tuned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do they have to wait 45 days to close?
No, they just have a home to sell.
Well, I'm gonna put that thing up for sale as soon as you're on
Great.
contract.
Yeah.
Okay. they can
Homeward
close
doesn't
quick.
make money. We're losing money every day that your client doesn't buy it back.
That's what
Ah.
okay. That makes
So
sense.
we're incentivized to help your client close as quick as they can.
Okay.
But if you list their property, let's say a week out, you're still 30 to 45 days from closing, right? So that's the issue. How are you doing?
Thanks.
Would you mind signing in for me, please? Just so I'll make sure you get credit. Thank you.
Can I just clarify? So when we're making an offer using you, so it's for this cash, it's 0 days finance.
Let's do that. Hold that. I'm gonna go through a transaction at the very end. And when I do that, it'll all become very clear. But you know, we'll cover that at the end. Okay. Buy with cash. The only step we're removing is the sale of their existing home. Approval works the same way. The offer process, seller accepts, we close, your client moves in. Now, I know you're already thinking, how long is the time between Homeward close and the time they buy it back? Average, 20 days. We ask for 30. As a realtor, promise me you'll tell them it's gonna be 30, and then they'll be pleasantly surprised when it's 20. You'll look like a hero, okay? But it's about 20 days. Why do we do it that way? Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac require us to do the final appraisal after we close. And between appraisal and title, it's about 20 days. Yes.
I have a question. So I know you said that if you, I have a scenario that actually is real here in that they are relocating to Atlanta from another city.
Right.
So they've already sold their home. They're not going to be very competitive because of the price point. So this might be a good deal for them. My question is, if they've already been working with a preferred lender that I've already set them up with, how does that work? That's what I'm
They can absolutely use the other lender or use us, and we'll talk about cost and what it looks like either
Okay.
way.
Okay, right, gotcha.
All right, so that's buy with cash. Remember, first-time home buyer, investor, second home buyer, that type of person, buy with cash. Sorry, I'm blocking you. Okay, cost. Okay, listen before we go to the slide deck. There are only 2 costs associated with using Homeward that are different from a normal real estate transaction. Your client is still gonna pay for an inspection, right? Your client's still gonna pay for appraisal. Your client's still gonna have closing costs associated with the loan. To use Homeward, there's two costs. There's a convenience fee and there's rent. We're gonna cover both now, okay? The convenience fee in Georgia is different by product. So stick with me. We're gonna talk about buy before you sell first. Buy before you sell, people who have a home to sell, okay? Standard in Georgia, the standard cost is 2.4% on the convenience fee. $500,000 home, okay? 500,000 times 2.4%, $12,000.
That's on the buy side, that's the house that they're buying.
The house that they're buying. When they use Homeward Mortgage, we're able to give them a discount. Remember me telling you we believe the process is better with Homeward when we bundle services? We're gonna give your client an incentive to do that because we believe it's a better, smoother process. However, if your client's already approved and excited about this lender, they can use the lender. It's just a standard convenience fee of 2.4%.
Okay. Instead of 1.4.
Now, question, I would ask this, I know you're thinking it, how competitive are your rates? Right? Write this down. Go to homewardmortgage.com. You can see our daily rates. You can also advise your client that we offer a best price guarantee that's referenced on that website. Big picture, the best price guarantee says this: we're going to beat or match another lender's rates up to 1% of the loan amount. $400,000 loan, we'll give them $4,000. They can buy their rate down or buy their cost down. In addition to, if they use us, they get a discounted convenience fee. You with me? At the end of the day, what do we care about? That the client has a great experience and they're getting the best value, right? So we got you covered. That's what I want you to hear in all of that. One more note that I want you to make on the convenience fee, okay? When you write the Homeward purchase agreement and it gets accepted, it's accepted for $500,000, okay? We're gonna turn around and write a customer buyback agreement with your client for $512,000, which is going to include the convenience fee. The appraiser is going to be working off of the $512,000 number. So when it appraises for $512,000, they can either roll that into the mortgage, the convenience fee into the mortgage, or pay it as a closing cost. Does that make sense? Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So they won't have to come up, yeah, upfront
What
costs.
about, I'm sorry, what about,
Sorry.
In the event it doesn't appraise, though,
that's my question.
Then it goes back to the willing and able conversation.
Like, what about if we put it as an special step that the client is willing to pay like $10,000 over the appraisal?
Sure. And I'm going to cover appraisals at the very end. It's going to be crystal clear.
And then there's a 0.5% additional fee for properties between 250 to 299.
Yes,
the
on buy before you
convenience
sell, 250 to 300. The convenience fee is increased by 0.5% in either category.
fee? Okay.
On buy before you sell.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Will we get this
She was
spreadsheet?
referencing this. Yes, you're going to have all this.
Okay, cause thank you.
She was referencing this.
Okay.
The reason why we did that, guys, just to give you a little context, when we launched in Atlanta 2 years ago, the average price point was closer to 300. And now the median sales price, Jim, you probably know this. What's the median sales price in Atlanta? Does anybody know? 425? Yeah. So we had a lot of people that we used to only go to 300,000 on our buy before you sell product. And everybody kept going, hey, could you do 289? Could you do 279? Can you work with 255? And we said, we can do it, but our margins don't really make sense at that price. So we'll do it, but we have to increase the convenience fee. So that's the backstory.
You said we're gonna get this at the end? or-
Yeah, you'll have everything you need to be successful in 20 minutes. Y'all want to know how much buy with cash costs, or question first?
Please, the 2.4% effective fee is either if they want to sell and purchase the home.
Yeah,
At the
buy
same
before you sell.
time.
Yeah, this is buy before you sell,
Buy before, okay.
meaning they have a home to sell.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry,
right.
I got late.
That's okay. Buy with cash. Buy with cash is less expensive. I love this. Standard convenience fee is 1.9%. When they use Homeward Mortgage, it's what?
Zero.
What? Are you kidding me? Okay. Do first-time home buyers always have enough for a down payment and closing costs? Yes or no?
No.
Not usually, right? I mean, maybe some, but not always. Now they can roll their 1.9% of their cost into the mortgage. Because if they use Homeward Mortgage, it's zero convenience fee, but remember, we're still increasing the purchase price by 1.9%. Now your client can not only win with cash, but they can finance some of their closing costs. What? Look, when I first saw this, I was jumping out of my seat excited because, again, this is major opportunity for y'all. The reason why we do this, if you're thinking, how is that possible? How are y'all making money? We're making money on the mortgage. Remember, y'all are our clients, so this is like a gateway opportunity to get y'all in the door. This is an opportunity for us to go, hey, come experience this. We'll help you with your first-time home buyers, get them in the door. What's going to happen is they're going to send you referral business, and you can use our buy before you sell product too. How long is it taking you to secure, if you're winning 1 out of 10 offers, how long is it taking you to secure a house for a first-time home buyer? Long enough. 4
30 to
months?
60 days.
So the Atlanta market is appreciating at 1.8% per month. That sounds like this is a home run. Sounds like it. I love thinking like that, you know. Man, you can wait 5 months and pay $60,000 more for the property, or we can win right now and you pay 1.9% convenience fee. Okay, how does rent work? 3 things I want you to know right now about rent. Remember, convenience fee plus rent are the only 2 costs for Homeward. Rent is number 1, prorated by day, so there's no wasted rent. Number 2, they don't pay rent until they close and buy it back.
Say that again?
They don't pay rent until they close and buy it back.
Okay, and they sell their property.
So they
Now-
throw it.
Now,
Right?
listen, I've had agents ask me, do they still pay their mortgage on their existing home? Yes, God, yes. Please,
Because you
still
haven't
pay your
sold it.
mortgage.
Right, you haven't
You just don't owe rent until we close and buy it back. Which is good. You mentioned this earlier. There's no upfront cost. That's right. The only upfront cost they're going to have is earnest money. Isn't that cool? Oh, the other thing is, guys, our rent, we just launched in Florida. Anybody do business in Florida or know somebody who does? We just launched in Florida. Our rents for East Cobb are the same as it is in Miami.
Wow.
Meaning,
So you're charging too much for these cops?
no, no, we're undervaluing. Oh, come on, East Cobb is high dollar. You know that. We don't mark up rent. All we're doing is covering our carrying costs. Rent is not a moneymaker for us. In fact, the longer we hold that property for your client, we're actually losing opportunity to go and use our cash to help someone else. So I want you to understand, while we are charging a daily rent rate, this is a very low. Your client's gonna pay somewhere between $50 and $150 a day for rent, depending on price. Now, with that being said, stick around. I'm going to give you the exact formula on rent, so don't sweat it. Any questions on cost or process before we jump into getting started? Sweet.
Hey, John.
All right. Look at this list. I want you to think about your specific pipeline. Who are you working with right now? Anybody working with investors?
Yes.
We can help. Let's say an investor wants to buy 10 properties this year, but they only have enough cash for 2. They could leverage our cash and buy as many as they can, as fast as they can, and just mortgage them out. That's what they're doing anyway, right? They're using their cash until they get it, and then now they can go get another one. Well, it could take all year. What if they could buy them all now before it appreciates?
What about the high-rise condos?
Yeah, we do condos. Just has to be warrantable.
Should be.
Warrantable. Like in the condo docs, it has to be approved for us to be able to use it. Yeah. Move up buyers. Anybody working with a move up buyer?
Yes, I do.
Good. How about downsizing? What about downsizing? The home is paid for, but they don't have a job because they're retired. Anybody got that?
Had that.
They don't qualify for a loan, right?
Not most.
But they're gonna buy the house back with cash. We can do that. Well, how awesome is that? Now they don't have to move twice. What about first-time home buyers? We've already said that. Hesitant list buys. Guys, I used to run a restaurant in college. Our owner always said, the guy that ran the place always said, if one person complains about their meal, 9 didn't, but left and won't be back. I think the concept is true with your pipeline, your database, the people you know. If one person calls you and tells you they're scared of moving, I think there's 9 people in your database right now who aren't calling you, but they're trying to figure it out on their own. And those are the people that are calling you going, hey, have you heard of Orchard? You heard of Orchard?
Yeah.
Those are the people that are calling you, hey, have you heard of OfferPad?
Yeah.
No, I've been living under a rock for the last 2 years. Are you kidding me? Yes. Right? What about clients you met 7 years ago? Open houses? Y'all do open houses?
Yes.
Guys, we have an agent that does an open house now every weekend. The first one he did, he got 2 list buys that totaled $90,000 in commission. He's in Austin. This kid's a rock star. Like, he's excited. But he printed all of our material and customized it. And when they come in the open house, he's just like, hey, we're making our buyers cash. Are you interested? Yes. Tell me more.
Last weekend, one of our agents had open house. 145 people came.
Wow.
145. Open houses don't work, Jim, because of COVID. Well, keep thinking that. Just keep thinking that. That's great. You don't do them, and we'll do them and get buyers. It's working, guys.
It is. Open house is genius. What Sean Rawls used to always say, do 42 a year. Don't test it on 1 or 2 open houses. Do 42 and then look at the business that you did. You'll likely do 20 transactions if you do 42 houses from the result of that. What about out-of-town buyers we talked about? By the way, we're buying in Colorado, Texas, Arizona, Florida, and Georgia. Those are the states that we're licensed in. If your client is moving from New York and has a home to sell and buying in one of those 5 states, they qualify to use us. If they're moving from Georgia to New York because we're not licensed in New York, we can't help them. Does that make sense?
So, like this client that I have in Nebraska, but they're moving to Georgia, that does work?
That does work.
Okay.
We're buying in Georgia.
Okay.
As long as you're in the state that they
Correct.
want to buy.
Correct.
Okay.
But you mentioned they've already sold their house.
Yes. So
I don't know if that's good or not for them, but now if you hear of somebody that's like, I don't really know how we're gonna do this because we have a home to sell in Nebraska, we could turn you into cash and they could use the equity from your house and you could avoid all the inconveniences of selling, right? Prospect moving to a new school district, now's the time for that. Y'all know that, I'm not telling you that, anything about that. Our buy box. So this is the who, this is the what, our buy box. Guys, we're buying from 200 to 3 million. Home must be habitable. We're not buying mobile homes, and we're not buying farms or ranches. Think Yellowstone or 1883, not single level living, okay? We finally made it to season 4. Anybody's watching. Great. It's great.
Yeah.
So habitable meaning you may not want to sleep there, but you could sleep there?
Yeah, let's say it's missing a kitchen, that's not happening.
Okay. Wood rot on the outside, a lot of it?
Wood rot is fine. Wood rot is fine, that's habitable. Now, if the wood rot is so bad that the deck is falling off the back of the house, that may be a different story. The major things we're looking for are foundation and roof issues. And then habitable, meaning like there's a kitchen, running water, all that sort of stuff. There's gray area with us. So if you have a question on something, run it through your Homeward advisor, and we'll likely be able to do something. Okay, guys, the next step is to get you guys started, and then I'm gonna answer all the questions about the appraisal and inspection and all that stuff at the end. But getting you started, first thing we're gonna do is, I'm gonna connect you to your agent dashboard with Homeward, okay? At your agent dashboard, I want you to bookmark this page. You can do everything you need to do with your client. You can start an application for a client. You can submit an offer request. You'll find offer instructions on how to write the offer on the Homeward dashboard. Proof of funds letter, everything you need to be successful. You can view your client's status. Once your client is approved, they'll be assigned a customer experience manager and a loan officer for that transaction. That'll be on your dashboard. Their phone number, their email, everything you need. Okay? You'll also have access to all of our marketing materials that you can customize. So you want to email your database? It's already written for you. You want to have a flyer for an open house? Done. Social media? Done. Listing presentation flyer that you can print and take and customize? Done. Buyer consult? Done. All of it. Script book. Jim, scripts are good in the absence of intuition, right?
That's right, yeah.
And it's 50% intuition and 50% script. When we don't know the scripts, we lose 50% of the time. What do I say? Go to the script book. No, I want you to tell me. That was good. Homeward Bound Facebook page. This is a lot of referrals happening here from Texas to Colorado to Georgia to now Florida. So join that Facebook page. It's Homeward Certified Agents. You are officially certified after doing this intro. So congrats. Okay, pull out your phone. We're gonna pretend like we're at a restaurant post-COVID. Scan the QR code. QR code made it come back. Very important that everybody does this while we're together before we move on. Once you've scanned it, it's going to ask you for your contact information, including your MLS ID. You can use Georgia MLS or Georgia FMLS.
Is none of you, mine's not working.
We just have to get close enough.
Normally
Try it on the computer screen where Kimberly is, if it's not working on the major screen.
or should we just go to the?
Or you can go to the link there.
Yep, you got it.
Should FMLS, just put it up.
Everybody get it?
Yeah, it should pop
You
up.
just have to get it at the right angle.
Did it?
No, it says Georgia MLS, Georgia FMLS.
Yeah, it says Georgia
Oh.
FMLS.
Okay. Cause then it tried to populate my Georgia MLS. Not that one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, start typing in your information. You're gonna put in your Georgia FMLS and your FMLS agent ID. Michelle, it won't work?
Oh, no.
For all of Apple, it's not working.
Boy, this was a bust.
Yeah.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
When I
Yeah.
get there, yeah.
I think your phone is causing a shadow.
Y'all can see it right here by mine at work.
An iPhone 12, how about you, big boy? Go to that link at the bottom.
Your phone's too good.
But it says if they don't see my MLS, that is.
What is the MLS name? Did you say?
Put in FMLS
Georgia,
and search, it'll
Georgia
say
FMLS.
Georgia FMLS.
That's what it.
Yeah, and then type in your MLS.
Thank you.
What's the MLS name? Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia FMLS.
So the whole, right out the.
Write
word
out Georgia, it'll auto-populate, it'll give you FMLS and MLS. And then the last step in this, guys, once you've created your username and password, it'll ask you to verify your email. I want you to get there so I can show you where the resources are.
Oh my God, you have to know your ID. Oh, God, I never know.
It's asking me to see.
Well, that's my ID, I need to.
Yeah, but create a password.
That's my
Is it
Georgia
the-
MLS ID?
I don't
Yes.
know.
Okay. Now y'all gotta go search for it.
I know, that's what
I've had it.
Kimberly, can you tell if anybody's having trouble on Zoom?
Yeah, but I'm talking.
Okay, perfect.
I gotta,
Give me a thumbs up once you verified your email. Thumbs up, thumbs up. 2 so far. Anybody have trouble or having trouble or need help?
I'll look to get our FMLS number. ID, I should say.
Let's put something went wrong.
Did you verify your email?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm sorry, your phone's ringing.
My is done.
Okay, you want to do all of this?
Sure, yeah. Email, reminder, that one. Barajas, BA,
Click create an account. Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay. Okay, thumbs up.
Yeah.
We good?
No.
Good, good.
But you get the email, you mean?
Yeah, once you verified the email,
Oh, verified.
we good here?
I'll get there.
Karen, can I help or you got it?
I think I got it. Thank you.
Okay, what happens next? Okay? Jim, this is what I was mentioning before. You now will be assigned, my clicker's not working yet. Let's see. There we go. You will be assigned a Homeward advisor. Now listen, please promise me you'll hear this. You're gonna get an email within 2 hours. That email is going to be from your Homeward advisor with all of their contact information. Save it. Okay? Save it in your phone, type in Homeward advisor, whatever you want to remember it. Just know that'll be your person. Now, what can that person do? You want a coaching session with them? How do I use this in marketing and talking to my people? Schedule a call. You want them to talk to your clients directly because you don't want to remember all of these details and just have them do it? Yay, that's what we actually prefer.
Yeah, I like that.
What we found is the Homeward advisor is really good at helping your client understand it, and sometimes you are, sometimes you're not.
Is it possible to, and I guess maybe this is up to the Homeward advisor, but is it possible to even schedule a 3-way Zoom call?
Love it. Yes.
Okay.
What I found on that, you're gonna experience it. This is experiential.
Yeah.
You're gonna experience it and learn it and love it, and you're gonna love your Homeward advisor.
Okay.
Yeah, do that. That'd be great. Our hours are 9 to 9, 7 days a week. Your Homeward advisor does sleep. They do take time off. When they're off, you're going to be assigned to someone that's covering for them. Like, let's say it's 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night. Your Homeward advisor may not be working. That's okay. You can still call them. Their number will forward to the person that's on duty, and you're covered. What if you have an urgent request at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning? You have to wait till 9. Try not to procrastinate.
We'll have to wait till 9. I know that's good for you.
Kimberly, I'm so sorry about clicker. Thank you. All right, so that's really it. You have all the marketing assets. If you go to the Agent Resources tab on your dashboard, remember, bookmark that page. Now, I told you I'd cover the appraisal, the inspection, and the rent cost. I'm going to start with the rent cost. If you want to know the exact formula, you can get it 2 ways. Number one, there's a quote tool on your dashboard you can use and know exactly what they pay in rent before they're approved. Super simple. All you have to do is plug in their information. Once you do, it spits out a number, tells you exactly what rent is per day. That's the easy way. For those of you that just can't wait and you want to know the formula, here it is. Under $1 million, take whatever the purchase price is times 0.72%. Let's take a $300,000 home. I'm gonna take as an example, 300,000 times 0.0072, right? 0.72%. That is $21.60 for the month, $2,160 for the month. I'm gonna divide that by 30. The daily rent rate on a $300,000 home is $72 a day. So your first time home buyer, if they use Homeward Mortgage, can go all in at about $21.60
You said divide by 30 days?
for your daily rate. Over $1 million is 0.55%. All right, so those of you that wrote down appraisal, inspections, and rent costs, check rent cost off. Okay? You got it.
Substantive, sorry.
0.72 under $1 million percent, 0.55% above $1 million. That gives you a monthly rate divided by 30 to get your daily rate. Now, do you see why I don't go through that in the presentation? Like, it's just, you got the quote tool, just use the quote tool. Plus, once they're approved, you know their daily rent rate. Once they're approved, they know exactly what that number is. It's not a surprise. Appraisals and inspections. It's probably easiest if I just walk you through a transaction. Okay, so let's go to buy before you sell. Buy before you sell, here's the process. Step one, get them approved. Once they're approved, you're gonna go out and make a Homeward cash offer, okay? Remember, you don't lose any control in negotiations. You're still deciding what to offer with your client, okay? Property's worth 500, we need to offer 575 to even be considered. What I'm hearing you say, Christy, is maybe it's more like 625, right? Okay, we need to offer 625. Great, let's draw it up. Let's submit it to Homeward. Homeward's gonna sign off. You're gonna have offer instructions that tell you detailed cash exhibit, which box to check. It's actually 1B, which says we don't have the right to go for a mortgage. You're gonna waive the appraisal contingency. There is no financing contingency. There's no home sale contingency, okay? Proof of funds letter is in the offer instructions so that you can submit it with confidence. There's also a FAQ for the listing agent that you can submit with the offer on what Homeward is. Institutional cash, emotional end user, home run, right? Okay, you've made the offer. In the offer, you're gonna ask for a 5-day due diligence period. Now, in that 5-day due diligence period, two things happen. Number one, your client gets an inspection. But John, they want to buy it as is. That's fine. They can buy it as is. They can buy it as is. As long as there's no foundation or roof issues, we're good. Okay? Second thing is, and you're going to negotiate, your client's going to pay for that inspection. Your client's going to go to the inspection. You're going to negotiate the terms of the inspection just like you always would. If you're asking for them to make repairs, we would sign off as the buyer, just like we did on the contract. Second thing that happens is we order a prelim appraisal. It's a desktop appraisal, nobody goes to the house. That prelim appraisal comes back. Let's say it appraises for contract price plus the convenience fee. Home run, we're good. Let's say it comes back and it's low. Your client now has 3 options. Number one, they can terminate and they're protected. They keep their earnest money because they're in due diligence. Number two, you negotiate with the listing agent. But John, I know it's tough, but it's happening. Third thing is your client, if they're willing and able, which goes back to the conversation, how much money do they have? They're willing and able, they can pay whatever they want to the house. We're good.
That clears up my biggest concern, because that's what I was trying to figure out. Good.
Okay? Questions on the prelim or the inspection?
So the prelim
So
is.
that happens in the 5 days, sorry.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that prelim appraisal gets back on the 5th day.
That's what I was.
That's why you asked for the 5 days?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, John, my client doesn't care if it appraises. They've got enough cash to cover the delta. Guys, if you're in that situation, we'll work with you. Our goal is to help you win. I'm just saying, ideally, we want that 5 days to protect you, your client, and us. But if it takes waiving the appraisal altogether and your client has 300,000 to play with, and the delta's gonna be maybe 75 or 100 or 125, we're good. John, what if we do right to request repairs, no appraisal? All good, we just have to have an inspection that says there's no roof or foundation issues. You with me? Okay. Fast forward, we appraised, or we figured out the appraisal and the inspection, we're moving forward, Homeward closes. Remember, once we close, they can move right in. Also, once we close, we have to order a final appraisal for your client's loan. That comes back within a week. Let's say appraises for contract price, all good, we're moving forward. What if it doesn't appraise for contract price? Prelim appraisal did, but the final appraisal does not. Okay, two things. Number one, your client can terminate, keep their earnest money.
What do you,
I'm confused. So
Yeah.
they want to close and this is happening?
So Homeward closed.
they own the home, right?
Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac require us to do the final appraisal for your client's loan after we own the house.
And that's if they have a loan with any lender.
So we do a dual appraisal process, prelim and final appraisal. You with me?
But at that point, they own the house, you all do.
Right.
Correct.
Gotcha. That's part of the mixed.
Yeah. We do a dual appraisal. We do prelim before we own it and a final after we own it to satisfy Fannie and Freddie. You with me?
And it doesn't matter the lender they chose to go with.
Your buyer has to have an appraisal if they're getting a loan,
Right,
a final appraisal, regardless of lender.
right. So you're saying that if it doesn't appraise,
If the final appraisal comes back and there's a delta
yeah,
that wasn't a delta on the prelim,
right,
your client can terminate and keep their earnest money.
with you.
I mean,
Yeah.
we hear, yeah.
Now, why do we do that?
Well, what other choices do they have? Negotiate with you or no?
Well, they're not gonna negotiate with us.
They already
Their
bought
choice
that.
is they can terminate or they can move forward and pay the delta.
That's,
But
okay.
here's why we do it that way. Guys, we've already bought the house for that price, okay? In Georgia, in 3 years, we've only had it happen 2 times. And by the way, it wasn't us who was doing the mortgage. Because the prelim and the final appraisal are typically the same person when you use us. They're not gonna argue with themselves. You get another lender involved, we might have an issue on the appraisal. However, typically that appraiser understands that we've already closed at that price. We're our own best comp. And in both cases, we were able to present that and the appraisal worked out. So what I want you to hear in all of that, that's a very long, that's why I don't
Yeah.
talk about it during the presentation. Your client's protected. That's all you care about at the end of the day. Is my client okay? Yes.
Is there a question on the screen?
The only thing is, it's emotional for them. So if they like all excited and then this happens, I don't know if they want to walk away and start over again. And then if they don't have the
But you're
funds
saying
to
this happens
match it.
twice and those.
Let me ask you this, Michelle. How emotional are they when they've lost 11 times?
Yeah. Yeah, this will be the 12th. No, hopefully it won't happen because you're saying that
I mean, we're very solutions based. It's possible, not probable, that it's going to happen. But as an agent, we always go to the worst case scenario. What if a client loses their job? Well, what happens if they lose their job now?
What do you do with the home, even though it's only happened? Do you sell it again?
We are not in the business of holding homes, so we'd absolutely list it as fast as we could.
Right.
And who agent did you use?
Yeah, which agent?
So the answer is it's never happened, so I don't know.
Okay.
What I'm guessing is, we're not trying to lose money on the deal, so you may or may not want the listing because we're probably not paying a full commission on it. However, we'll probably give you the opportunity because you're our best bet. You already know the house. You've already sold it one time. But again, we're talking about probable situations or possible situations, not probable.
So who pays the premium of preliminary appraisal and the final appraisal?
Your client is going to pay both of those as a closing cost.
What was the question?
Who pays for the pre and post appraisal?
Does the desktop appraisal really have a full cost?
No,
Okay.
it's minimal.
There's a question on the screen.
If if the buyers are using another lender, how does Homeward guarantee an appraisal within those 5 days? The prelim appraisal is ordered by Homeward. We use our appraisal company.
And the final appraisal.
And by the way,
No,
the prelim appraisal is done whether your client wants it or not. Like, we just do that as part of our process. Why?
Protect yourself, yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
So, I apologize for being late getting here, but so you're saying that 30 days for them, now they've moved in the house, there was no house to sell, they'll close on the real mortgage within the next 30 days?
Correct. We have a hard stop closing date of 30 days. It's typically about 20. But I want you to coach them that it's 30 and then let them get pleasantly surprised when it's not.
And then they'll pay for those 20 days or whatever,
Right.
rent at that time.
Yeah, unless they
If
use
they-
Homeward mortgage,
right.
yeah.
Is there a good script that is in your bank there that if the buyer already has a preferred lender and, obviously I wasn't familiar with this program at the time that all played out, to go back to them and say, you may want to rethink this without burning a relationship bridge? I'm just trying to figure that out.
With your lender, you
The
mean?
lender, yeah. Or is that?
I would probably go to my lender and say, hey, can you make this buyer cash? Like, let me tell you what I just learned today. Can you do that?
Okay.
If they have a solution, take it.
Mhm.
If they don't, explain to them that, hey, to win, knowing that 70% of the market is cash, and that we increase our chances of winning with cash, I'm gonna have to give them this as an option. I just wanted to make you aware.
Okay. Okay.
By the way, I'm not making light of that because
Right.
remember, I'm an agent.
Right.
I've had the same lender for the last 11 years who I love. He can't make my buyers cash.
Right. Yeah.
I
Cash is king right now.
was trying to figure out the difference, like on a pre-approval, you could still waive financing and things like that, but with this one, you can waive appraisal, which is,
Huge.
because I'm thinking, okay, well, if they're already pre-approved, I look at a pre-approval almost like a cash buyer, they're fully underwritten. But it still hinges on that appraisal, but when you're doing the due diligence,
Guys, by the way, I'm not keeping anybody here, but I got a funny story I'll tell you. I honestly believe, regardless of what happens in the market, that cash is the new normal. Like, I think a year from now, it's just gonna be, I'll give you $500,000 cash, or I'll give you a check. Which one would you like? We went to, my wife and I just went to the Highlands about 3 months ago. Beautiful, you've been, obviously. It's amazing. We're driving up the mountain. On the way there, it starts to snow. It's 20 degrees. Snows throughout the night. Next morning we wake up, open the blinds, snow is everywhere. It's just beautiful, okay? It's 8 degrees, -3 wind chill. We decided to walk half a mile for brunch. So we layered up, hand warmers, toe warmers, everything in. We trekked through the snow. My boots are like soaked, they're not waterproof, So we get there, and we walk in the door, the guy knows we're freezing. He's like, come on in, folks, it's warm in here. There's people everywhere, it's the only place open. And he goes, by the way, our credit card machine is down. And we're only taking cash.
Oh, no.
So my wife and I laughed immediately, because she knew, like, here's the
Otherwise the
cash
joke
guy.
has no more.
And I had like $3 in my pocket, right? But, it gets you thinking, like, how far we come with technology. Like, it's Cash App, it's Venmo, it's Zelle, I don't care. If you carry cash, you're not normal, right?
Right.
But the other thing is, cash is king. It always will be accepted. The third thought I had is how far we've come with technology and how far the industry has come with technology to where now cash will be the new normal. Regardless of the market. Why would I take anything less? No, they're fully underwritten. Is it a loan? Yeah. Well, there's 7 offers. You're the 10th offer. There's 7 that are cash. Can you make them cash? Because I like your price.
Question. So I've been on this seller side where when people are offering Homeward, they're asking if it's rent restrictions.
Great question. So we have a team of attorneys that do that during due diligence. So far, we've had no HOA not allow us to move forward.
I think people that's using the Homeward needs to not say that so quickly, because that's the first thing the HOA thinks is you're renting for a long period of time, when it's really you're just renting till they sell or vice versa.
So start with the listing agent, make sure they understand. And by the way, in the listing agent FAQ that
It's
you
like a
provide
temporary
them,
occupancy, isn't it?
we do temporary
But
occupancy.
the renting situation that you're providing is similar to a temporary
Correct.
occupancy. It's not really like
Correct.
renting
It's
your.
literally no different. Homeward has no intention of buying this home for rental purposes.
Right.
Zero. Even if your client doesn't buy it, by the way, if we get through that 5-day due diligence, your client backs out, Homeward's on the hook. They're buying the house. Like, Homeward's buying the house with or without your client. But if we get stuck with it, we can't list it fast enough. It's not our business model.
So are we using an all cash exhibit and checking the box saying we have the right to request to a loan?
1B
No,
does not have the right to it. Now, about 1 out of every 50 offers, the customer experience manager may come back and say, no, this is gonna be with Quanta, which is a hard money lender. And then it's
the one that.
One
is the one, the right.
A2, which is basically a hard money loan, which is still very similar to cash. And again, it's 1 out of 50. But you're gonna check 1B, does not have the right to get a loan. And then if the customer experience manager says otherwise.
Why would you do hard money loan for some of them? Is that more on an investor?
It's
side?
going away. Up until our fundraiser last year, we raised $376 million in May of last year. Up until that point, we were hard money.
Oh, and that,
Yeah, it's going away.
got it.
Now we have 376 million in the bank account going, hey,
So you have your own funds.
is this helpful?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wish, you said you're gonna hopefully come out with ones for the FHA people. because
Yeah,
I know that
yeah.
they're the ones that struggle.
We just launched it in Florida. We're beta testing it in Florida.
What's kind of the situation that they have to have a.
It's a mortgage-backed guarantee.
Okay.
So then they can use your lender, do an FHA loan. If for some reason the loan goes south, Homeward will buy it. It's very similar to what Ribbon does.
So does the buyer still look like then they're not really like a cash offer, they still are? Or
I mean,
it's
as a
more that
listing
you can
agent-
represent them more without contingencies,
As a listing agent, it's not a cash offer.
right?
If I'm representing the seller, no, it's not a cash offer.
What would the benefit be for them?
You can use it with FHA buyers. The listing agent just has confidence that if your loan goes sideways, that Homeward would buy it.
Okay, I see what you're saying, so it's it's not as risky.
Yeah,
For
it's
the
gonna take
seller.
longer,
Okay.
probably, because we may not figure out that your loan goes sideways until the 11th hour.
Yeah.
And then Homeward may need another 21 days to close. So it's a little bit riskier. You're not gonna present it that way to the listing agent.
Right.
But now you can use it as an FHA, that's a mortgage back. Hey, this goes wrong, which it's not. By the way, my lender's amazing, and here's all the reasons why. Homeward will buy it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
No,
Thank you.
guys, thank y'all. Go and tell 3 of your favorite agents out of this office, to get certified. Come back to our next training.
Very helpful. Great, thank you very much.
Y'all are certified. Use your dash. Remember to look for your email from your Homeward advisor.
Okay.
Tiger just teed off. You know,
He's amazing. He's like the 9 Lives person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
seriously.
He keeps coming back to the Masters.
And I mean, ironically, people, what? I don't
One
know.
more question.
He has aged. He does look like he's
John,
aged.
what sets you apart from other systems like
All
that?
this-
Connie, she's gonna hear me, right? Connie, Ribbon is a mortgage-backed guarantee, which is different from our cash offer. That's the big difference. The other difference is we go up to 3 million, they don't. The other difference is we do temporary occupancy, and there's some other little nuances. The other difference is we are agents and are going direct to agents that always have and will. They started direct to consumer, came back as direct to agent. So beware.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Very informative.
Now I'm gonna Google
It
and
just made me think about that.
look and watch.
Good.
Alright,
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you
Hey,
very much.
y'all get a mug too on your way out. Promise me you will. Take a Homeward mug.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think
Nice
I'm
to
gonna
meet
talk
you.
Silverton because they've already got that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, they may have a cash.
Get you a mug if you want.
Maybe, and then
Drink
I'll
coffee?
give them the If he doesn't do cash, he's going to do $350,000 price.
Yeah, I
Not
agree,
gonna happen.
I agree.
These are left-handed mugs, so they're really special.
Left-handed mug.
I mean, the easiest way, you just sneak some of them in the dishwasher, and then that way they'll be circulating.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, that's smart.
They've got a coffee station right over there by Jim's office.
Michelle, good to see you again. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you. Tell me your name again, Karen. John.
Thank you, John.
Nice to meet you, Karen. Okay, Michelle, Christie, Eileen.
I don't know who you had online.
Oh, Kimberly. Yeah.
At 11 online.
Sweet. What a day. It's good. You know, one of my ahas in this role is I go to offices everywhere. KW, some KW, some not. There's a definite difference based on the leadership in the office, and I just want to tell you that y'all are doing a great job. Yeah, it's engaged. It's, you know, you want engagement regardless, and you guys do a great job. Yeah. Good job.
Sorry about the clicker. I have to click on this screen before your clicker.
No,
works.
I get it.
So
Yeah.
if I'm working over here, then I have to go back and forth.
I think this is gonna be great.
Yes.
Cause I'm like, I just was entertaining offers, I'm like, how do you not compete? Somebody had Home Partners of America, but they needed longer due diligence, and they would not wiggle. They're like, we need 10 days due diligence. I'm like, you can't have it.
That's another difference. Most of our competitors do a 7 to 10